animal imitators feel the need to transform their bodies. Some just accept they're an animal trapped inside a human skin.
I feel that I'm a coyote who, for whatever reason, has been born in a human body to live a human life.
John Osborne has legally changed his name to Coyote Osborne. He believes he's a weird coyote, a creature with the body of a human, but the spirit of a coyote.
Unless I'm completely delusional, I have recollections of having lived as a coyote, as having lived as an animal many times. I guess I just had started to have enough of these recollections and memories, and sometimes I remember bits and pieces of things in dreams. But it just all sort of started to come together. I guess when I was about 16 or 17.
At first, Coyote wondered if he might be a weird wolf.
The first thing, of course, I looked up was werewolf legends and things like that. That didn't really seem to fit. So I read up about the animals themselves, wolves and coyotes and other canids, and kind of put two and two together. Like, well, no, this is what I was seeing and this is what I was remembering. There's a lot of times that I really don't feel very human at all, other than that I act and talk like one and have to pass for one in society. I feel like I've spent a lot of time artificially learning ways to act so that I won't seem weird to other people.
Although Coyote doesn't see himself as a weir in the traditional sense, he does have a mask that he uses for his own spiritual ceremonies.
It's actually made largely of paper mache. The hood on the back to cover up my hair is leather. I'm eventually going to put horsehair onto it to be a mane like a coyote would have, and probably dye that.
Masks would be used for special ceremonies, and when you put on a mask, you're taking on the persona of whatever it is that you're impersonating, and that spirit comes into you as a person, and so it would be done for a very specific ceremonial purpose.
When I'm using it spiritually, or at a dance or a festival or something like that, I would say yes, I do feel different with it on. So I probably look quite foolish, but I've never been that concerned.
There are wild coyotes living in the neighborhood, but Coyote doesn't run with them.
You can hear them, and I've seen one in the area. And of course they howl and create a ruckus, and sometimes I howl and make a ruckus back, but I don't think they like how I sound. I don't go out and meet them. They don't come running up to me and talk to me and treat me like a long-lost friend. A lot of times, really, they're not going to do that with each other either.
Coyote wanted to express his inner animal without undergoing surgery, so he picked up a pencil and started to draw.
I think, at least for wares, the reason the drawing is a big thing, because it's not like you can go and take a photograph of an anthropomorphic were creature, because there aren't any that look like this. So I think people use drawing because they want to say, this is what I feel like I am inside. This is what I would look like if I were really me. It's always weird for me somehow when I look in the mirror and I see this primate. And there's nothing wrong with primates except that I'm not one. I think that if there were any type of medical operation that could really realistically make me have animal traits, I would do that. But as it stands now, it seems to me like it's purely cosmetic. I'm not going to grow fur. I'm not going to have the muscles or reflexes or probably even many of the instincts that an animal would have.
Cat, you're amazing. That was not easy.
Like anything else, you get through it.
Catman's in Steve Hayworth's operating room, getting eyebrow whisker implants with no anesthetic. It's been a very painful hour, but Steve's nearly done. Steve's implanted 6 small metal bolts into Cat's forehead. When the implants heal, Cat can screw nylon whiskers into the small bolts, giving himself tiger-like eyebrows.
You actually bled very little.
Really? I would think the capillaries in that area would,
Usually forehead work is bloody, but
yeah.
tonight was the exception. All right, take a peek, Cat.
I'm just trying to figure out where I'm at. All right. Those look good.
One of the only people that I've ever met that has been disappointed about their modifications is Cat. He's always, or not as much now, but after we'd get done with the procedure, he'd get up and he'd look in the mirror and he'd go, "It's not happening fast enough." He would always be so upset and frustrated that we couldn't do more.
Kat wants to attach the nylon whiskers to the implants tonight.
What do you think about the whiskers?
I'm thinking that we're probably not going
too
to
close.
do the
Yeah,
whiskers.
too much swelling.
But Steve feels they should wait until his forehead's healed.
Yeah.
Another 5 to 10 days.
They have to wait until the swelling goes down.
We'd lose the,
They'd lose the piercing.
yeah, we would lose the opening if we removed the healing nubs right now.
As soon as I get something done, it's a matter of, okay, what can I do next? I would like to have fur. Whenever it becomes possible, I want to do regular fur, conventional tiger fur, but I don't know when that's going to happen. There's actually a fair amount of people working on it, biological engineers, geneticists, but no progress as yet.
Meanwhile, in Austin, Texas, it's standing room only to see the human lizard.
All right, Allison, how you doing?
Eric Sprague's in the process of covering his body in green scales. So far, the tattooing's taken over 700 hours. But that's just the start.
I've had subdermal implants placed on my skull above each eye, 5 pieces of Teflon. My teeth filed down to sharpened points. And, of course, my tongue split.
Eric may have decided he wants to look like a lizard, but he's very careful to point out he doesn't think he's a lizard.
I don't think about myself as being a lizard being, I mean, lizards have brains the size of the walnut. They're not, I don't think of myself as that, as an animal. I'm a human being, I'm an artist. I just happen to like lizards.
Eric's bizarre look also helps him with his claim he's one of the world's most extreme sideshow acts.
My show is a collection of what are usually thought of traditionally as sideshow style acts. A lot of them do come from different places, but here in the West, we usually think of them as sideshow acts because that's where they were introduced to our culture.
In the past, animal imitators often worked in circus sideshows, but most of them weren't really imitating animals. They were earning a living from their bizarre and often tragic disabilities.
In the past, you've had very famous performers who get into animal acts, and often it is based on a medical condition or a deformity. And it is a collaboration between the owner of the sideshow and the performer in how to package that deformity, how to make it titillating but also acceptable.
Outraged citizens attack the sideshows for encouraging people to laugh at so-called freaks of nature. Their protests helped put an end to the sideshow. So did modern medicine.
Modern science has had a real effect on the sideshow. Medical care in the 20th century eliminated a lot of the freaks of nature.
But as the 21st century arrived, so did a new kind of freak, the self-inflicted freak, and the sideshow was back in business.
Well, you know, things have changed even in my 25 years in the business, and you know what? In this day and age, freaks are cool. Freaks are out there. They are the new rebels. Freaks are like rock and rollers. Freaks are like movie stars. You want to be a freak, get your freak on.